What's going on? Okay. We're going to be doing some whole wheat sourdough flatbreads. I always do it on Wednesday. I don't always film it on Wednesday just because, like, sometimes I'm, like, rushing and I'm super late and I'm super stressed. But today, even though I'm rushing and super stressed, we're still going to film. We're still going to do a live. And every time I wash my hands, I'm gonna just check chat and see if anybody's got any questions, and I'll try to answer any questions about the process as diligently as I possibly can. But you know, it's I think 10 o'clock right now. I gotta be all done by like latest 1 o'clock. So we got the hustle on today. Can you see me? Nobody's even watching. Alright, so these are the sesame flatbreads. They got it's a 100%, or not 100%, it's a locally milled flour, locally grown grain, and it's a high extraction flour. And it's essentially like a sesame pita. It's just got a little bit more body to it, so you can do like, fill it to the brim when you stuff it. Oops. Okay. I've been burning these a lot. So today, we're keeping a close eye on them. I don't know if there's anybody watching, but if you are, thanks for joining. We're doing a whole wheat sourdough, flatbreads right now. Everything's wood fired. Gotta go quick, gotta make it to the market in time. Market starts at 3 o'clock. I mean, there's not that much to do really, so I know we're good. If you have any questions at all, type it in the chat. Every time I wash my hands, I'm going to take a peek at the chat. If there's a question I can answer, I'll do it. I will answer your questions. Oh. So this is the exact same dough. It's a whole wheat sourdough. You can see, you can't really see. It's usually a brighter yellow, but we have a paler local polenta here. That just adds a little bit of extra flavor and texture and prevents the dough from, or prevents the bread while baking from getting too dark on the bottom. But it's really about flavor and texture. Thanks for watching. I see that you guys are watching. I really appreciate it. This is all Lebanese flatbreads here. I'm gonna get the zatar ready. Just thyme, sesame seeds, sumac. We're also making sure we're not burning the stuff that's in the oven. Looking fabulous. Oh yeah. Great. Just great. I'm so happy I figured out how to not burn these on the bottom. Nobody really cares either. It's just me. Like when I go to the market and today they're $3 instead of $4 because I made them a little dark on the bottom. I don't care. I like burn. Oh, okay. I should charge you full price. Oh well. Some Lebanese olive oil. Support Lebanon because they're about to get bombed probably. About to become Israel. If you decide to do this at home, if you decide to do this at home, all you have to do is dimple them, and then you want to make sure that the zatar isn't too thick or too thin. Because if it's too thick when you bake it, you'll go to bite it, and then all the zatar will just crumble off. And if it's too thin, your pita pocket that turns into the actual zatar flatbread will just puff up like a pita. The zatar is like weighing it down. So you have to kind of like, not that you asked, but whatever. I recommend that everyone should know how to make the zatar flatbread. Everyone. Because it's like super easy, and you have company over and they'll be like, oh my gosh, how did you make this? And it's just because you put zatar in it. But they'll be impressed. And it goes with anything. I mean, cheese, eggs, salad, hummus, baba ganoush. Pretty much anything, you know? And this is it. You just dimple it flat. I can hear the sesame seeds popping. We gotta keep a close eye on these mother effers. They were trying to go dark on me. They were trying to go dark. We're not having it today. Not today, sesame bread. Not today, sesame bread. You're going to be perfect today, sesame bread. And done. They're done. Any longer, and I wouldn't have had to take $1 off. You know what I'm saying? What about you? Next batch goes in. Whoa! Oh! What's great about making flatbreads, y'all? It's very forgiving. People are still impressed. Like, you made a whole sourdough bread, but it took half the time. And then, doesn't matter, you don't have to wait till it's cold. You can rip into them while they're piping hot because you're not trying to store the rest of it anyway, like you would a sourdough loaf. So make flatbreads. How long have you been making sourdough? How many types of sourdough you make? Love the energy. Hey, yo, thank you. I appreciate that shit, for real. So, I've been making sourdough, I don't know. Probably like a decade and a half. But I've been doing wood-fired sourdough for like 7 years, something like that. Probably 7, 8 years. So not long. Still a novice. Still learning every day. Still fucking up every single day. Last night I burned about $45, $50 worth of organic local mushrooms farmed by my friend. Nearly had a conniption. Who am I fucking kidding? I did have a conniption. I lost my goddamn mind. I was so upset. But we got everything done. Got everything done anyway. Now the zatar goes on while the sesame seed flatbreads make. You don't need much. You just want a coat. You just want a coat. Little zatar coat. It's okay if it goes over the edge. It's okay. No fret. No problem. And in my experience with the zatar breads, if you let the zatar with the olive oil sit here on the dough before spreading it, it'll just be a little bit more difficult to spread because the oil will kind of like seep into the dough and the dry stuff will just sit on top. So it's better to like do 3 or 4 at a time. You also you absolutely do not need to wood fire these breads. You could just put them on a sheet pan and put them in your oven at the highest temperature. Start them on the floor, like the closest to the floor element, and they'll get a really nice rise. And then when they have a nice rise, you can bring them up to the top of the oven, top rack, and just get a little color on top. And you don't want to go too dark, because if you go too dark, then it'll just be like hard by the time it cools. You want to kind of keep them a little bit light. With the wood fire, we go a little bit darker because of the high temperature. We can afford to go a little bit darker. But if you like lighter bread, you make lighter bread. No problem. Yeah, this is easy, bro. We're hustling today. Honestly, I make so much more later in the year, like earlier in the year, or like around winter time. I mean, let's think about selling seasons. This is low season for where I'm at right now. When it comes to people coming to market, coming to buy bread, buy vegetable, so I'm only making about 15 of each of these, the sesame and the manouche. But later in the year, when it's high season at market, I'll be making like closer to like 30 of each. And that's not even me bragging, dude. That's just me being like, thank goodness, and bless this awesome community that we have here in North Carolina, Western North Carolina, Asheville proper. See how fast that was? So easy. Sorry, these are already pretty much done. They take maybe 5 minutes. You gotta sit there and rotate them with this type of baking, but you put them in the oven at around 550 degrees. Put them on like a little cookie sheet with some olive oil on the bottom, so they don't stick to the sheet. Probably like maybe 10 minutes, and you have flatbreads. And then you can take these flatbreads, cool them, and if you don't want to eat them right away, you can make more than you want. Put them in the fridge or freezer in a Ziploc bag, and then anytime your kids are hungry, or you got company coming over, or you want to do like a cheese board or something, or you want to do like pizza night, You just take them out and warm them back up. Warm it back up, put the cheese on top, put it back in the oven, put tomato sauce, whatever. This shit is fire. I'm not gonna lie, I dropped one because I was a little too excited and cracked it, but I'll just give it to my mom because she has my stepdad come and pick up bread, so I'm just gonna slip her sesame bread. And I love you, Mama. I love you, Mama. God, these are really good today, though. I've been messing these up so bad, but not today. Not today. All right. Now, since I'm like chilling right now, I'm gonna just do a little tiny little sweep of the table, little tiny sweep because we're gonna do a big sweep in a second. And then I'm gonna go get the other dough. Dude, this is actually going like faster than usual. I think it's because you guys are here. You guys are motivating me. Any more questions? Oh my God, they look so good. Oh, thank you. I wish I could just give you one. Like, I wish you were here saying they look good, because I would toss you one for free, no problem. Darn it. More sesame breads. Yes! I'm just like gonna get all my yelling out because my wife and my son are at school right now and they're about to stop going to school and they're gonna be here on Wednesdays, so I'm not gonna be able to, you know. Gotta get it all out. You gotta get it out get it out, you know. So this dough, can you see this? Yay for bread. Yay for bread is right, bro. It's my life. It's all I do. This and gardening. And you know, I sleep and I eat as well. So this right here, same dough as this. Little dark on those, that's okay. I'll tell you about that in a second. Get the manouche, you do a little stretch. Ooh, ooh. This bread is the like bread of the Middle East in my eyes. Pita zatar. It's just usually on pretty like white dough, like white yeasted dough, and they roll it really thin like a cracker. And sometimes you see it at sandwich shops. They'll like put all the stuff on it, roll it up, and hand it to you in like a little parchment for you to eat. But with this recipe that we do, the dough isn't white. It's not a white dough. We only use local flour from a local stone mill out in Hendersonville. Why do you do that, Eli? Well, because it supports local, supports the local mill and the local farmer, and it supports your gut. And if you didn't know, whole wheat sourdough supports your gut, okay? So, I'm doing this for you guys. Any more questions? Oh, hi. Hi, Cheddar Gamer, YouTube. What up, dog? Are there any questions? Okay. Wow, okay, I answered the 3 questions. If you ever have any questions, I'm going to be trying my absolute best to work and answer your questions because I am here for you. I'm here for you. So yeah, this dough is the same as this dough. What we're going to do with this dough is we're going to take big sheet pans. We're going to cut 5 strips out of this one chunk of dough. And then we're going to take the 5 strips and we're going to stretch them to the sheet pan. And after we do that, we're going to dimple them with our fingers, same as we did here. Make a little well, 5 wells in each of the 5 strips. And we're going to fill each well with a cream that we made from cashews, water, and salt. We let it ferment for an hour so it almost tastes exactly like creme fraiche. Yeah, we're going to fill it with the cream. We made a special carrot cream as well. So we got the cashew cream that's plain, then we got a cream of carrot. We're going to pair the cream of carrot with garlic, sorghum, which is almost like garlic honey. So it's like a garlic honey glazed carrot, but with a local sorghum on top of a flatbread with a carrot cream. And then we're going to do flatbreads with beets, local balsamic vinegar, and sesame seeds. One more, we're going to do mushrooms and cabbage. The mushrooms are from a local farm named Black Shepherd Farm. If you're in Asheville, check them out. They're fucking dope. They grow all their own different types of mushrooms organically on property. Real sweet people. And then we also have some rolls of like these mashed potato rolls, and I'm going to try my best. Oh my gosh, you guys, this might be the best bake I've ever done. All because you're here. All because you tuned in. This is the best bake I've ever done. Really doing a small bake today, y'all. Small bake. These are what these look like. I think I could have put a little bit more zatar. You see how they puffed up a little bit here, here, here? So with a little bit more zatar in the mix, less oil, it will weigh those little puffy parts of the bread down, and you'll end up with like, just a flatter flatbread. But nobody cares. I don't care. I think they look beautiful like this. And if you do care, you can get the fuck out of here. No, I'm kidding. I'm just messing around. I'm just messing around, dude. One more. This is the, like I said, like this is the bread of Lebanon in my eyes. Bread of the Middle East even, maybe. I grew up with this bread. Yes, this right here is what we're looking for. If you don't like that, you can get the fuck out. I'm just kidding. All right. Yeah, I grew up with this bread. You know, I'm like fake Lebanese. My dad's side is Lebanese, but that is definitely the side of the family that I find myself, what's the word, associating with the most. And I think it's just because I like zatar now. I think it's because I love the food, you know, the food. When I go over to my grandma's house, my teta Jana, the food that she makes is like the most nostalgic to me. And it's probably because it's the most delicious. Just because, one, Middle Eastern food, specifically Lebanese or Syrian food, is just the best in my eyes. It's also because, you know, my grandma cooked it. I think that's why, you know. Part of the nostalgia and the love for this food, for me, comes from the flavor. Part of it just comes from my grandma cooking it and me showing up and being like, "What'd you make, Grandma?" All right. Now we gotta get these four sheet trays oiled. See, you know, I don't like this. This right here. This. See the dents? That, when I slide it onto the hearth, is gonna create uneven heat spots on my sheet tray. So I'm gonna try to find, out of the maybe 45 sheet trays that we have, I'm gonna try to find the flattest ones today. This one's a little flat too, but that one will stay. This one's too wonky for me, too wonky. Let's get 2 more sheet trays for chef here. Gotta make sure to keep an eye on what's in the oven too. Yes, rotate, rotate, rotate. That's hot. Oh. More Lebanese olive oil. More olive oil. Let's pay homage to my grandmother. Become a real Lebanese man. Alright, so let me see if there's any questions, and then I'm gonna Palestine zatar. Hey, are you saying Palestinian zatar? For real, anything else that tastes awful? Anything else what? Like anything else other than Lebanese food tastes awful? Agreed. Everything else is shit. Palestinian zatar? Are you telling me that? Because I am using a Palestinian zatar. Much love to Palestine, poor fuckers. close eye on these guys real quick. Because the last thing I want to do is burn the last like 8. And I always do that. I always get too comfortable like doing whatever I'm doing, moving on to the next thing, and then I look in the oven and there's like 8 flatbreads on fire basically. If you didn't get a chance to look and you're just tuning in, zatar whole wheat sourdough flatbreads here, really good with pretty much anything. You put an egg right on top now. When you cook, you fire, you put cheese on after it cools, dip it in some hummus, really good with like a nice vinegary salad. Whatever's in season goes on top of this bread. What if nothing's in season? Then you just eat the bread. It's that fucking good! Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're out of there. We're moving on. I don't care if you got a little bit paler than the other ones here. We're moving on. We're moving on. We got places to be. We got things to do. We got places to go. All right. So right now, I'll put you back. I just wanted to show y'all. This is what we're dealing with in there. Orientation is locked. Hold up, hold up. I've never tried Lebanese olive oil. Honestly, go give it a try. But there's a bunch of good olive oil out there. I'm just hating, you know, because I'm Lebanese, so I have like major bias, you know. But Greek, you know, Italians, all good. So this right here is a big Turtle Rock oven. We got about 6 times 9. We got about 54 logs in there today, maybe more, actually closer to probably 60. Just to ensure the oven is nice and piping hot. I'm gonna get my hands a little washed and we're gonna get the carrots in the oven to roast. Excuse me. It's about, I would say, 10 portions or so. 20, 30, 35, I think. Are both your parents Lebanese? That's a great question. No. My dad is Lebanese, but not from Lebanon. My Lebanese side was in Lebanon. My grandfather and my grandmother migrated, or immigrated, sorry, to Canada. Because it wasn't safe in Lebanon. Probably still isn't, but they went to Canada, and then they had a family, moved back and forth from Canada to Florida. Specifically, they were in Nova Scotia. And so my dad's Lebanese, my mom is like Hungarian, Irish, Dutch. So, I mean, I like zatar and potatoes. Those are my top 2, I'd say. And I think it has everything to do with my heritage and my family, the way we all were raised, the way I was raised. A little bit of olive oil, a little bit of water, just to help them steam a little bit, because it is hot in there. How hot? How hot? How hot do you think it is? How hot do you think it is? I'll tell you. I'll see. After one guess, I'll tell you. Carrots go in while the fire goes out. And we start doing the flatbreads. A little bit of olive oil on the tray here. Did anybody guess how hot it was? No disrespect if you didn't. I'd say it's pretty hot. Correct. What was the other question? Either way, seems like you make great zatar. Aw. Thank you very much. You know, I don't know if I've ever had a zatar bread I hadn't liked, just because it's, you know, a bunch of zatar on like very thin. But the actual bread that is under the zatar is top notch. And it's not because of me, it's because we use a great locally milled flour. That's it. Doesn't have anything to do. I'm not a magician. I'm just taking the ingredients that are available and turning it into food that is edible. If anybody doesn't like that I'm using my bare hands too, you can just stop watching now. That bothers me so much. I mean, no one does it to me because nobody cares about me. But if people do start watching this and they go, "Oh, bro, put some gloves on," bro, you've never worked in a kitchen, especially never worked in a bakery. If you're expecting everybody to wear a glove, bro, and we keep our hands clean. So now we cut the strips. Ready to see this? Everyone should do this. Home baker. Commercial baker, market baker, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you are. Let's do this here. A little strip. Watch how this comes together now. Where do I usually do it? Here. Yeah. You take your little lump of dough, you stretch. You put it right here. Right at the top. Cut another strip. How do you do this? How do you do this, Eli? You just make a pizza dough, and instead of shaping like little balls, like you have that, like we just did the flatbreads, the manouche, you can make a pizza out of that dough. It's fine. We had the little boules, you know, in the cornmeal or rice flour, whatever you want to do for regular pizza. Instead of doing that, you take the same dough and you just cut like a big chunk of it. Could be 2 kilos. If you're doing a small thing, you should do 1 kilo. And you just roll it up into a big log and let it proof and relax. And once it's about, you can go a little bit under proof is better. And once it's, this one's a little bit big. That's okay. And once it's relaxed, you can stretch it like this to the pan. So it's essentially, you don't have to use whole grain sourdough. You could easily go with just like a pizza dough that you make, or you could just like get it from a friend or Publix, or I don't care. Let's use this little strip. I don't want to waste any. This guy. Whoa. if you like baking at home, copy this. Have some friends over. This is too big of a sheet tray. It won't fit in your commercial oven. You do one of the half sheet trays. You just do 2 strips like this. It makes 10 flatbreads in like, I don't know, maybe like 20 minutes in a conventional home oven. And you don't even have to do anything after that. You just mix a little salad. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna look if there's any questions real quick because I love y'all. Ramadan Kareem. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, yo, thanks for watching, dude. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. And happy Ramadan. You know, whatever you say. If you're just tuning in here, we're making all whole wheat sourdough bread. Everything's wood fired. We got the long strips of flatbreads that are going to go in next. We got the carrots in the oven. We just finished baking all the zatar flatbreads and stuff. You can't really see them, they're off screen, but I'll come around and show you in a bit. Do I have any bakers in the chat? Anybody baking at home in the chat? Anybody got any dough rising in the chat? I think there's like 3 people watching or something, so I don't know how possible that is, but if you're a baker and you're looking to get into making some whole wheats, or not whole wheat, but making some flatbreads in general, questions, I'm here to answer them. We don't waste anything around here. You're getting eaten too, buddy. But if there was a little extra dough, you just throw it in your starter bin. Never throw away dough. And if you have to throw away dough for whatever reason, just throw it outside. Like, put it in your yard, or if you don't have a yard, that's fine. Throw it in the median of the road that you drive on every day if you have extra dough, and put a little bit of mulch over it. Never throw dough in the garbage can, and definitely don't put that shit down your drain. Telling you from experience, do not do that. Don't do it. You'll end up with a plumber at your house asking you what you were thinking. We are flying through today's bake, I'm not gonna lie. And like I said, it's because you guys are here. Oh, that's what I was gonna say just a second ago. I forgot to make this remark. I don't know if y'all have, like, I don't know if there's the best way to put it is like I used to skateboard. I mean, I do skateboard, but I used to skateboard with like friends. Now I just do it alone. Now I just do it alone. But I used to skateboard with friends, and I always felt like I was getting better and like doing cooler tricks and stuff like that when the friends were there. And I almost feel like I'm doing a better job baking because you're here. So thank you for that. I wouldn't be doing as good of a job. Maybe I'd be, instead of talking to you, I'd be like in my head getting like frustrated about something. Got the mental anguish. So now you just, we're just dimpling. We're just making a little well, five little wells in each strip of dough here, which will eventually become, they'll each individually become their own flatbread to be cut and enjoyed by some lucky market goer willing to pay $5. Or we don't sell out like usual, and I donate stuff. And then someone's eating for free, which is even better in my eyes. Want to make sure we don't burn those carrots, because if you burn the carrots now, and then they gotta go on the flatbread and bake for another 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, they are going to taste terrible. And we don't make terrible tasting food around here. We make delicious, nutritious food. That's what we do. And you know, like each strip probably weighs like 5 to 10 grams greater or lesser than the strip cut before or after it, you know. One's a little bit bigger, one's a little bit smaller. But that is to be celebrated, you know? Each flatbread is individualistic, just like us. Just like you and me. None of us are the same. So why are we trying to make each one of our pastries look the same? This isn't French pastry, okay? This is Lebanese flatbread. This isn't even pastry. This is flatbread. Keeping an eye. I'm not even keeping an eye on those carrots. I'm keeping an ear on those carrots. I'm fucking locked in. Gotta be careful here. I'm just kidding. I just like being dramatic, dude. Alright. Just get a little fold over so we don't get too dark in one area here. Ooh. Oh no, I lost a carrot. That's another little snack for Dada. Okay. Oh, get in there. That's a 10-second roll. Oh, woo! They're almost done. You're getting close. Just a little bit longer. Wow. Give my hands a little wash. Thorough wash. Any questions here? No, not yet. Like I said, y'all, I'm here for you. I love you. If you got questions about what I'm doing, or if you just have questions about bread in general, I am here for you. Oh yeah. Only one more tray to dimple, then we can start topping these guys with the cream that we make with the cashews. And the carrot cream as well. I can hear the carrots whistling. be done. Could be done in the next probably 10-15 seconds here. Carrots, I mean. I think I'll just take them out when I'm done dimpling these guys. Cool. All done there. Let's clean up a teeny weeny bit over here. Looking pretty good. Okay, so let's go over what we have to top these guys with. This right here, can you see it? This is the cream with roasted carrot, garlic, and sorghum. So it's almost like a, I don't know, it'd be good with like pretty much anything. Sounds like someone's here. Let's see if someone's here. Nope, no one's here. Totally paranoid. Okay, so yeah, the carrot cream here. It's got carrots, garlic, sorghum. Almost like it's like a honey garlic carrot sauce to go with the honey garlic carrots or the sorghum garlic carrots that we put on top of the flatbread. Love y'all. If anybody's in here, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys asking questions. It's really so sweet. It means the world, yeah. Wish I could give all y'all watching right now something to eat while you're watching, but I can't. Gotta be careful not to use all this before we top every flatbread that we need it for. We'll do, I think we'll do, I don't know, maybe, well, I don't know. Whoops, sorry. I was gonna do 35, but we'll see. Didn't quite get all that we needed, but that's okay. Don't matter. Still be delish. I can hear the carrots are done. Carrots are done. You got the carrots roasted. Whoop. To cool them off. Going on that in a second, but I want to make sure that the oven starts to cool a little bit, because if we go too hot with these flatbreads, they'll be dark on the top and they'll be pale on the bottom, which is not what we want. Stoke the fire. Stoke the logs. Alright, let's finish these guys here. Actually, I'm gonna just scrape down the sides of this bowl so I can get every last little bit. Smear it out a little bit. This is just a regular cashew cream. Almost like a creme fraiche. See? Made a little mess. So, if there's anyone watching, if you're just tuning in, whole wheat sourdough flatbreads, putting the cashew cream on now. Whoopsie. And then we'll do, we'll top them with one with beets and sesame, local balsamic, one with mushroom and cabbage, one with carrot, garlic, sorghum. Almost like a honey garlic carrot. This is really easy to make at home too, and it's like the perfect like replacement for anything baked with dairy, like baked with like cheese on top, essentially. And I've been experimenting with it for a long time. You can probably do even more than I know what to do with it, but I always use it as like if you're gonna do a lasagna, even, you know, you want to put like the bechamel on top, you could do this instead, and it browns beautifully. If y'all have to go, that's fine, but if you get to stick till the end, you'll see what this looks like once it finally comes out the oven. And it really does look like a baked creme fraiche or like a baked cream. And if you don't want to do, what's it called? If you don't want to do cashews, you could try another nut. Cashews cream really nicely. If you have a really high-powered blender, you might be able to do like almonds or walnuts or something like that. Walnuts, they might come out like looking a little purple or gray, the actual cream, but that might be cool. But if you don't want to do cashews, sesame seeds. You just get tahini and you open it up with a spoon, you know, or not open up the can, but you pour the tahini and into a bowl, and then you open the like unmixed tahini up with a little bit of water and salt, and it'll turn into a sesame cream. In fact, if you look up like Lebanese cooking books, some of them, instead of tahini, will say sesame cream, because that's essentially what it is. It's just blended sesames with water and salt, and it really does resemble a cream. But it has immense flavor, especially when baked. I like to do a flatbread in the middle of spring and summer when there's berries or jams or whatever. We do a tahini cream, so a sesame cream. We put sesame seeds on the outside of the bread, and then right in the middle, in the little well right here that we're gonna put all the vegetables, instead of vegetables, we put like a local jam or berries. And by the time it bakes down, it is almost, to me, it's almost exactly like, it has like a complex version of like peanut butter and jelly. That's what it reminds me of a lot. So, if you don't like peanut butter and jelly, you know, it might not be for you, but I really like it. I'll put it over here. So now that all these guys are topped, we'll start over here first. We're gonna do we'll do the mushroom. I don't have much mushroom, because last night I burnt like a lot of mushrooms and had to like start over. So we got what we got. We got what we got out here. For the mushroom one, you just take a nice little spoonful, and you like compress it to the container, and you just shoot right on. That's it. And this is locally grown, not foraged, grown by my friend Jay and Gwen at Black Trumpet Farm. They grow organic mushrooms, all sorts of varieties. This one it has chestnut mushroom, which is a beautiful, almost like it has like a brown slash like kind of like a mustard color to it. And it has we have gray oysters in here and shiitakes. So 3 different types of mushrooms, a mélange mushroom, and a local cabbage, just a green cabbage. But in like middle of spring, sometimes winter, you know, if farmers are doing it, I'll get scallions, and we'll do scallion or leek in mushroom. This is really good with alliums. Thanks for watching, y'all. I really appreciate it. If there's anybody in the live that wants to ask any questions about what I'm doing or about bread just in general or bread that we make or whatever, let me know. Oh, I think I actually, like 3 questions came in from like the same person. I answered 2 of them. And I think the last question that I didn't answer was how many breads do you make? When it comes to flatbreads, like I make a lot of different flatbreads. Whatever's in season is what we're gonna try to like bake onto the bread. But then when it comes to like loaves of bread, I make about 5 or 6 different loaves, which is probably like too many. It's just not that necessary for us because most people come to the table looking for like something small to eat, like the flatbreads or the potato that we make, or the hand pies with like spinach or mushrooms in them. But we make about 5 or 6 different loaves of bread. We have like a loaf with seeds. We got a loaf with local polenta, so like corn. It's really nice. Tastes like when you toast it, especially if you do like grilled cheese, get it on a griddle with butter. It smells and tastes like popcorn, which is really nice. We have like another loaf that's enriched with a little bit of local sorghum syrup, so it's almost like a honey wheat but without the honey. We have a loaf with rye and caraway. That does horrible at market. People fucking hate caraway seeds. So most of the time I don't make that many of that loaf, but I really like it because it reminds me of the like going to the Jewish deli, getting like a grilled cheese or like a Reuben sandwich or whatever, and it's on the like caraway rye bread. You know, you go to Rascal House. Yeah, I know y'all never went to Rascal House, but if y'all ever went to like a Jewish deli or something, then I'm sure you had the caraway rye bread. And we make one of those. I'll make anything. You know, if someone comes up and they're like, oh, I'm trying to do something, you know, for like a party or something, I need a certain type of bread, like I'll try to figure it out usually. But it's you know, I have like a lot of different types of breads on the menu, so usually people can just find what they want. I can hear the oven cooling down, which is nice. Get it at a good temp to do these guys. Finish topping them and then start baking, or get close to finish topping them and start baking. Because again, if you go in there too hot, the bottoms, these pans aren't really made for what I'm using them for. They're made more for like cookies, pastry, not like big loaves of like focaccia style bread, you know. Better if we had like a heavier bottom sheet pan. But we don't. This one's cheap. I'm not trying to buy any more sheet pans after it took me forever to figure out that a heavy bottom sheet pan would be better. So now it's too late. We're already locked into the aluminum sheet pans. Oh, I'm not going to put it on this one actually. I just want to put it on this one right here. Right here. And then we have a little bit more here. I am going to save this last little tiny bit. Actually, let's just see if we can be generous here. not to waste any of my friend the mushroom grower's hard work, my friend the cabbage farmer's hard work. I'm not trying to throw that down the drain or outside. We don't throw anything down the drain. Throw it outside. There we go. And we just, if we leave it like that, there's a good chance that it'll just kind of, the bread underneath it will puff slightly, and then this won't be secure. So what we do is we just give it a little push, you know? Very rustic looking, but it ensures that the mushroom actually stays on the bread, you know? Might be a piece or two that falls off if someone like juggles it around, but you know, if I don't push it down, there's a better chance of it falling off the bread. So we got a little push. That also gets the dough really flat to the pan, which if the temp is right in the oven, helps for like a really crispy bottom of the bread, which is nice. Okay. Oven time's gonna be really nice today, I can tell. Okay. Now, a little bit of sumac. Oh God, sorry. A little bit of sumac. And sumac, people always at the market, they'll be like, what is sumac? Sumac is just a berry that grows on a bush. It actually grows locally, but this is a Palestinian sumac. And it's a berry, and they take the berry after it's ripened on the bush, and they dry the berry, and then they crush it into a powder. Usually they pulverize it, so it's almost unrecognizable other than the like burgundy color. But with this one, what I loved about it when I tried it, it's the zatar that we use and the sumac is from a company called Z and Z, DC, Z and Z. And I was baking stuff, posting it, showing that we were using a lot of zatar on social media. And Z and Z hit me up and they were like, yo, we're gonna send you some samples and let us know what you think. By far, like some of the best dried spice blends, herb blends, whatever, that I've ever had that are Middle Eastern, Because usually you get the zatar at like whatever, supermarket or international food store, and it's completely pulverized into a powder. Like it'll be green powder with sesame seeds, or it'll be the sumac. It'll be red powder. It's like this is what they look like. I don't know if you can see it from all the way over there. That's what they look like raw. I'm gonna try to get these other guys done. So that way we can start baking. Might be a little hot in there today. we'll see. I'll see what time it is. Maybe I can like wait a little bit. Let the oven cool just a second here. Next one, we're gonna do beets. Roasted beets, sesame seeds, and a local balsamic vinegar. Give my hands a wash here. Yeah, I definitely have time to let the oven cool. So we might just do that. We might just do that. See? Thanks for joining me, y'all. Appreciate you being here. You know, beets actually, if you could do this bread, the flatbread, with a local balsamic vinegar is really nice. If you don't have the balsamic vinegar, you could just kind of like use sumac and like coat the beets with sumac. That's nice because then you bite into it. It's not balsamic vinegar, but it has like a little bit of that like sourness to it, so it just helps be like, ooh, what is that? I want to take another bite. Or you could do zatar, you know, like olive oil zatar. Put that on top. Beets and zatar are really nice together. The earthy thyme with the sumac, with the earthy beet, a little of the sesame, all works nicely together, creating a delicious harmony of flavors. We're not thinking too hard when we put these on, we're just getting them on there. It's supposed to look rustic. It's supposed to look, they're supposed to look, you know, it's supposed to look like they belong to themselves, like they have their own look, each one. You can also do like different colored beets. Golden beets are really cool. You put a bunch of different colored beets on there, it almost look like gemstones when you bake it. You can do, we used to do a flavor, we can't do it right now because it's not in season, but we used to do a flavor with beets, the local balsamic vinegar, and we would take the same cream that's on here, the cashew cream, and we blend it with a bunch of fresh basil or garlic chives. Anything green, really, like chives, ramps. Ramps are about to be in season for us. They're coming up in the next like couple months or something. And yeah, like the beets with the herb cream, and then the balsamic vinegar. That is like definitely one of my favorite flatbreads that I think I've ever made. And I didn't even come up with the idea. It was one of our ex-employees who came up with the idea, and I give her all the credit every single time. She's gone now, but I give her the credit, gosh darn it, because she deserved it. She came up with it like out of nowhere too. She was just like, I bet like beets, basil, and balsamic. I feel like she was just going with whatever sounded good next to each other. Like she was just like whatever, you know, works as in alliteration will be delicious surely on the bread. And it was fire. So when the fresh herbs come in, when it's fresh herb season, we're definitely gonna be throwing those on the flatbreads. Putting it in the cream, putting it in the mushrooms, the garlic. I used to, the garlic chives with the mushroom one is good instead of cabbage. You just rotate it, so I don't have to like go all the way, you know, over here. Again, I don't know if anyone's watching. If you are, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm doing better today. Faster, stronger, because you're here watching. If there's nobody watching, that's pretty funny. Just the thought of someone watching is making me work harder and faster. So thank you so much. I love the crackling of the fire. If you are watching and you got any questions about bread or what I'm doing, you just let me know, okay? As soon as I see your question, I'm gonna answer it. Thank you guys so much, for real. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. And never feel any pressure to subscribe, okay? There's zero pressure. You do not have to subscribe. It's free, but I know how it feels. Like the word subscribe, it's a lot. It's a lot. Even if it doesn't come with like a payment or anything, the big corporations have skewed how I look at subscriptions, even if they're free. Everything's a subscription now. Even free YouTubers. You gotta get on there and subscribe. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy watching. Hopefully you're eating something. Hopefully you're not just sitting there watching me make food that you can't eat. I hope you guys are eating well. Hope you guys had a nice breakfast. Nice lunch. Coming up on lunch now. Whoa, where are you going, buddy? Get back here. Beet tried to get away from me. Beet. Get back here, Beet. This one's done. I'm gonna do this one now. I'm running out of beet. I'm gonna cut 2 more beets real quick. By the way, beets, people always like, yo, how do I cook a beet? Like, what do I do with beets? Just boil it. You can roast it too, but if you just take a whole beet, you boil it. I didn't peel it or anything. You boil it in a good like a little bit of salt in there. Boil it 2 hours maybe, depending on the size. After 2 to 2.5 hours, dump the water out and put it in a container to steam, and the skin will just slide right off. And then you can cut them for salads or put them on, flatbreads or pizza, or put them back in the oven to roast again with garlic or something like that. Go to your local market, buy up all the beets. Buy up all the beets in the market. Don't judge me. I mean, judge me. I'm gonna cut right here in my little camera. Don't worry, this knife is dull as all hell. It's not cutting any plastic today. So it's essentially a butter knife. Perfect for cutting these beets though, because the beets are butter. They are butter. I think this should be enough beets to get 2 more rows here. Then we can move on to the carrot. Check the oven, see if we can start baking here. This flavor doesn't do well at the market unless there's balsamic vinegar on it. So it's a good balsamic vinegar. It's a local one made by this really cool dude named Scott. used to be a rocket scientist from my understanding. Now he just goes to market, sells homemade balsamic vinegar. Really awesome. So cool to have like the ability to get stuff like that at a farmer's market. I never would have thought I'd be able to buy like balsamic vinegar and mushrooms at a farmer's market. But we're that lucky. We are so lucky. And I get to be next to him today at the market, so I get to go like, that's my favorite, honestly. When I'm at the market and I'm like, yes, this is Beets, sesame, and balsamic vinegar from Scott right here, right next to me. Hey Scott, say hi Scott, you know, and then he's like, yeah, I made the balsamic. He's a cool dude. He's got the surfer voice. He's got the Cali surfer voice. He's not from Cali though. I think he just like did a bunch of drugs or something. He's just got the drug voice, bro. He's stoned. Extra beets for everybody today. Extra beets for everyone. Extra beets. Everybody's gonna be shitting red. That's always the worst, honestly, when you forget you ate beets. That's a scary time. We're gonna have this last beat. Come on, last beat, last beat, last beat. That's how we do it. So, like this. Now for the sesames. Unhulled sesame. See, they're almost like, instead of that white sesame, it's like a brown. Sesame seeds actually have a little hull, little like shell on the outside. So those white sesame seeds that you get at like sushi shops or bagels, a lot of bagel places use white sesame. They take the hull off. But the hull actually is full of calcium and fiber. You know? So a lot of nutrients in the hull, and it's more resilient to higher heats. So you can put it in like a wood-fired oven, or like a, you know, if you're doing like a loaf of bread that's gonna be in the oven for a long time, you don't want the sesame seeds to get too dark. Unhulled sesame is the way to go. Natural, they call it, natural sesame. And we bake these, a little bit of olive oil on top, so the sesame gets nice and like fried, and the beets get a good amount of roasted, like, you know, flavor, color. The olive oil is delicious. And then when they come out of the oven, that's when we put the balsamic on. Because if you put it on now, it'll actually cook the balsamic vinegar, rather than just like, we just want it to like glaze the beets. That's all we want. We don't want to be cooking the balsamic vinegar. Okay? I learned my lesson. And it's like, whoa, Eli, you're being really messy with the sesame. Yeah, I like to be messy with the sesame. All right? Don't mess with me. It's rustic out here. Oh, Eli, God, you're throwing sesame all over the place, Eli. Calm down. No. Fuck you. I'm not calming down. This is my bakery. I get to throw sesame all over the place, okay? You know, I used to work at a restaurant that was directly next to St. Viateur Bakery, bagel shop, which is in Montreal. It's like the Montreal bagel spot. And oh my God, we used to finish our shift at like 1 in the morning on like a Saturday, go straight over there, because they don't close, they just bake 24/7. They're baking wood fire, I don't know if it's wood fire, but it's big brick oven bagels. And we would get, me and my boy Kurt, we would get 12, we would go home, soft boil some eggs, sit there with the cream cheese and just eat eggs, cream cheese, hot sauce on a fresh sesame Montreal bagel. And I used to work at this other bakery. Oh my God. I used to work at this bakery that made just a regular white loaf of bread. But then with the same dough, we would shape the dough the same way. And we would roll it in water and then roll it in these unhulled sesame seeds. And the bread would get baked, right? It would be like, I don't know, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. They called them the sesamo. That was that type of bread. The sesamo would come out of the oven, and the bakers, we would just take a sesamo and just start ripping the toasted sesame crust off and like dipping it in like olive oil, butter, and jam. It was surreal, honestly. It was like the best, most fresh toasted sesame flavor you could possibly imagine. All right, I just want to look if there's any questions at all. No. Cool. We're working here. We're still working. Almost done getting these guys all topped up. Normally, just to beat the time, I would start baking while I finish these. But I think I'm just going to concentrate on getting these done, and then bake. You know, let the oven cool a little bit. There's no rush at all. We've been hustling because you guys are here. You guys are keeping me on task, on topic, keeping me locked in, keeping me hustling. Without you guys, I'd probably be like doing that whole thing, doing the shuffle. All right, so whoopsie, we got our carrots here, roasted. There's a little bit of color. If there's any color, we'll just put them color side down on the bread so they don't get any more color on that side. Get them all in there. We're gonna break some of them. It's not what we want, but that's what happens. It's not a big deal though. Alrighty. Hoping that I made enough carrots. Don't want to waste that oil. Olive oil tastes like roasted carrot olive oil. Alright, and then we got this here. Can you see that? I'm not going to spill it this time. I spilled the sumac last time. This right here is a local sorghum syrup. This guy, Larry, I get it from Larry. He grows heirloom sorghum, juices it, reduces it into the syrup that you're seeing. I take that syrup and I blend it with a local garlic, and to me it tastes like honey garlic. And we want to be generous with the glaze. The glaze, man. Where'd I put the lid? Did I throw it away? Here it is. Alright, I'm gonna wash my hands one more time, make myself really clean, then give them a toss and start putting them on. Oh yeah, nice hot water. Get the hands really, really clean. Actually, I'm going to do this and then wash them again and then start. Should have checked. Got to keep an eye on the fire too. So let's start here, and then we'll move towards you guys. Oh, yeah, I'm washing my hands again. All right. Thank you to the 2 people who are watching. Thank you very much. You guys are legends. I'll never forget you. In fact, this tray of flatbreads is going out straight to you, okay? So now we got the carrots glazed. Let me just start putting them on. Let's see, just like this. The top one again. The first one will be not skimpy, but I'm just going to be cautious with how many I put on. I'm just going to top them with still generous, still a lot of carrot. But I'm going to just make sure I can get all the flatbreads topped before I start, putting extra on there. I can just tell these are going to be really good today. Sometimes when you don't glaze the carrots enough, they just come out a little bit like, they're alright, But when you get like a good amount of glaze on there and the olive oil's there, it's like rich, very rich carrot flavor. Really like that honey garlic flavor. When you're doing this, it's important you get to the bottom of the bowl. You really like scrape up the garlic sorghum so that each carrot has a good amount of that garlic and sorghum on it. You don't want it to be skimpy. You want to be generous with everything you do in the kitchen so people know that you love them. Good, we're giving the oven time to cool down. It's not a problem when it's too hot. I'd rather too hot than too cool. But today we're gonna catch it at the perfect temperature to bake these guys. And we are gonna make perfect flatbreads here. We'll just push you over there. I don't know where I came up with this idea. I think I was just like, it was carrot season, I think a year or 2 ago, and I was like, carrots on bread, that sounds horrible, It sounds like nothing I would want to have, actually on a flatbread. Sounds like what you do when you're running out of produce and you have to go pick up carrots from the store or something. You're like, oh, we got the carrot flatbread. But then I was like, oh, what if we do a honey garlic? And then I was like, oh, but we don't do honey. Oh, wait, we could do the local sorghum. So it all just kind of fell into place. So I really like this recipe, but it didn't really get good where people were like, yo, this is good, telling me it was good, until I started doing this cream here with to reinforce the carrot garlic sorghum flavor, We put the carrot garlic sorghum in the cream. So that I think made the biggest difference in flavor and just overall experience with people, because that's when people start buying the most of that bread. This flatbread here was when we added the cream to back up that garlic honey, you know, flavor. Before it was just a little like mid, you know, just kind of it's like carrots on bread. Now it's like a full, almost fully thought out idea. I still have a couple of things that I want to change with it maybe. Instead of, you know, this is a little bit tedious doing it this way. We could probably make it a little bit easier for ourselves. Roast the carrots, just put them on, you know, don't glaze them in anything. And then right before they go in the oven or right after they come out of the oven, we could be glazing them with the honey garlic, or we could do like a, they have, I think in Iran, I think it was that I saw, they have, might just be all around the Middle East, but they have like a jam made out of carrots and spices with sugar. So I was thinking that would be kind of cool to like do that and then like make it a little bit thinner than a jam and then use it as like a glaze when they first come out the oven. So you really get like carrot. It'd be like carrot overload for the real carrot lovers. Definitely gonna have enough here. I think probably be able to go back and put an extra carrot on each one of these guys. Should be cool. Or at least, you know, some of them, we'll see. Might save a couple for the next batch. You know, because whatever we don't use, if there's any left over, we could just next bake, blend it into the cream. Nothing wasted, nothing lost, except for the $45 worth of mushrooms that I burned last night on accident. That was lost. That's lost forever. And we don't have to talk about that. It's fine. I've moved past that, you know. I've forgiven myself for that. And we don't have to beat ourselves up about that anymore. Eli, you dumb fuck. No, I'm kidding. You stupid fuck. When I burned those mushrooms last night, I had to literally ground myself. I put my ass on the floor and sat there and thought about what just happened. Because I was like, not only did I just burn stuff, these people worked so hard to make the mushrooms get grown, man. And I'm putting it in the oven and burning it. Like, what a hack. What a hack move, man. Not a hack. I'm not a hack, but that was a hack move. So this is about the time my back starts hurting here, because I'm like, you see me. I'm like a real Lebanese baker. Hunch. All the best Lebanese bakers, they got a hunchback, all right? So I'm just waiting for my time to come. If I don't have a hunchback by the time I'm like 60, I will be pissed, honestly. I need a hunchback to honor my family's name, so they know I'm a real baker. If I'm not a hunchback, I'm not a real baker. All these French bakers with good posture. We don't need that. We want the Lebanese hunch. I want the hunch. That's how you make the best manouche. If you don't hunch, you can't make zatar bread. All right, so we have a good amount of these left, so we'll put a few in here. This one right here. This one right here. Over there. Over here. And that one's got 5 already. That one already had 5 over. What do you guys think? Would you, if there's anyone in the chat, do you think you would try this? Do you think you would try the carrot flatbread here? You like honey garlic flavors? You like a little sweet, spicy, savory kind of thing going on? That's definitely what this is. Sweet, little spicy, little savory. The garlic is really good too. When you blend garlic that small, the heat really comes out, so it's nice with the what's it called? With the sweetness. It's almost like a sweet chili sauce, you know, but with garlic. I think it's almost 12 o'clock, probably close to it. Make sure you don't. good work. It was really fun. I had a fun day with y'all, getting all this stuff done. So there's still a little bit, oh, there's some garlic sorghum here, but I'm not gonna pour it on because it'll just start seeping everywhere. Delish. And I can tell just by looking in the oven there that we are ready to bake, y'all. It might be a little bit hot, but once we put those first trays in there, it'll start cooling down. Oh, 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 oh. What am I doing? 4 seconds back. All right, we scrape all the embers back, push the embers back, and make a little bit of room to start putting those sheet trays and start baking the flatbreads. Sorry about the noise, y'all. I am sorry. Tiny little mop of the floor here. It's not the biggest deal. It's not like we're baking directly on the hearth. Seems really hot in there, Let me think here. I don't know, let's just look at the time and that will determine what we have to do here. All right, it is 11:53. I think we'll leave these right here for just maybe 7 minutes or something like that, 8 minutes. Open up the door, let some air flowing through here, and then we'll get started on baking. There's no real rush. We'll bake everything in less than an hour for sure. This right here is mashed potatoes with olive oil and sea salt, and the wrap around it is just a really thin whole wheat dough. So it's almost like a cracker. You roll it really thin, and then instead of just cutting it into crackers, you put mashed potato and roll it up. And you can put all sorts of stuff in the mashed potato. You can put roasted mushrooms, cabbage, leeks, garlic, anything you want to put in the mash, and then you just wrap it up in the dough. All right. So These are gonna be good to go in a second. Just give them a little push down. Make sure they're really on that tray so they get a nice crispy bottom. Put them up here. These guys, I can move the speed rack over here. I'm gonna start doing, while we're waiting, I'm gonna start filling. Whoops. While we're waiting, I'm gonna start filling some hand pies. Hand pies, it's the same dough that's wrapped around the potato roll. But we fill it with mixed greens. You can fill it with pretty much anything. Fill it with mixed greens and roasted mushrooms with cabbage, say, a little bit of sumac, a little bit of sorghum, so it's a tiny bit sweet and sour. It's gonna be good. Really good baked today, I can feel it. Tiny little drip of olive oil there. Same dough. It's almost like whatever I didn't use for the potato, I just take that, ball it up, and then we can roll it very thin into a little circle. Then we fold it up into a triangle shape for the hand pies with spinach or greens. That's usually how they do it in Lebanon. And from my experience, they're called fatire. And I know I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but it's all right. That's it, just like that. Ooh, whoops. Again, this is usually done, when it's done traditionally, it's done with just a white dough. So, you see the color of that dough? That's not because I like added molasses or something. That's because we're using a high extraction flour, meaning it's a high percentage of what was already there when it was milled at 100%. So instead of it being 100% whole wheat, it's 85% of what was there originally. The miller in Hendersonville just bolts or sifts the largest brand way, and then you're left with like a little bit of a creamier flour, really good for drier doughs like this. It's another thing that my grandma used to make me when I was a kid. She still make it now, but she'd make like a white dough, roll it out or pat it out, and put her own spinach mixture. She also does what's called sambusic, which is like kind of the same dough. I don't know if it would work well with this dough, maybe not. But you can fill sambusic up, and it's almost like a little empanada, but Lebanese. And they fill it with you can fill it with nuts with sugar. The ways I've had it are you fill it with nuts with sugar, you fill it with ashta, which is just it's like a cheese, but it's not too salty. It's like kind of like a sweet cheese, usually used for like Middle Eastern sweets. Or you can put like meat, and then you put it in here, you fold it over like this, and you pinch the outside like an empanada. And then they're best when they're fried. You can bake them, but when they're fried, it's like much more traditional and much more delicious. And I think I'm gonna start baking. We got mushrooms, mushroom and cabbage with sumac, that's going in. Just gotta keep a really close eye on that because it's super hot in there today. Rather have hot than cold. Almost done rolling these guys out. My wife really likes these, so I'm gonna try to do more than I think will sell. So I can maybe leave her one or give her one when she comes to the market. I used to do these without the rolling pin. I'd be like, and then I was like, why don't I just use a roll? Way better. Way better with a rolling pin. We're hustling. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or anything, I'm here for you. Also, if you have any tips or anything, maybe not about, I mean, if you know something that I don't about bread, you just holler for real, because I might be doing something wrong or whatever. But if you got any tips on what you would want to watch for live stream, you just tell me. and I'll try to make it happen in my best of my capability, y'all. You can be really generous with it. This is honestly one of the best things that we make for like getting rid of stuff that normally would just be like composted, but you can still make it like delicious, and people are like, oh my god, what's in that? I'm like, the stem of broccoli. You know what I mean? Like this, you could put like leek tops in here, and people would just be like, oh my gosh, the leeks are so delicious, you know? Because it's all minced. So by the time you're like eating it, it's like cooked minced vegetables, and you can add like anything. What else would be cool in here? I don't know. I put something else like kale stem, like stuff that you just wouldn't normally eat, but is like really actually super delicious and beneficial for you if you know like what to do with it. Alright, we gotta take a second after I'm gonna do like a couple more of these and then rotate the pans so we make sure they're not getting too dark in there. Really keep a close eye on them bad boys. Zimbabwe. Knish, or I call them knish, but don't call them knish because someone might get mad at you. The potato rolls, beautiful, nice like blistering little bubbles on there because it's at such a high temp, and the dough's rolled so thin that it almost like creates a little pita pocket between the potato and the dough, or like. The dough is rolled up, almost like a cinnamon roll, rolled really thin and then rolled over itself, so nice little like puffs in the crust. Oh my goodness. So this is what this looks like here. Mashed potatoes, all well seesaw. That's it, folks. That's it. That's all. Nice, generous fill on these bad boys today. And a little bit more right here. A little more right here. Perfect. Perfect. Whoops. Alright, so these guys, you take them, pinch there, pinch, pinch. So now it's like a little cone. You take the middle, you bring it up here, pinch, 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 pinch. That's it. These are delicious and rustic. Amen. And they puff up because the steam from the vegetable makes them like woof, big and fluffy. Very soft when baked at a high temperature, especially. So let the oven keep kind of cooling down, slowly finish the, what's it called? The mushroom flatbreads. Still a little bit hotter on top of the oven, the actual ceiling of the oven, than I would have wanted for like, you know, the really, really even top to bottom cook. But it's fine, no problem at all. Good bake. Good bake, had a lot of fun today. These confuse all the Jews at the market. They'll be like, I'm half Jewish, by the way, you know. But I'm not saying that with any malice. I'm just saying every single Jewish person who comes to the booth, they'll be like, oh, Hamantaschen, I'll get 12. I'm like, this Hamantaschen is filled with spinach and broccoli, my friend. It is not sweet. And they're like, ugh. I've had people verbally say ooh to the idea of a hand pie filled with greens, specifically kale. I remember this one woman was like, ugh, before I could even finish telling her what was inside of it. After I said kale, she was like, I don't like kale. I was like, all right, clearly you don't like kale. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been so guttural with your response. Whoa, hey, get back in there, buddy. What are you doing? Where do you think you're going, Mr. Broccoli stem kale mixture with a little bit of mushroom, sorghum, and sumac? Oh. Such a forgiving set of items we did today. Our menu is like the most forgiving menu on the face of the planet. Look, there's little crumbs, little pieces. By the time it bakes, it all looks amazing. We gotta get those mushrooms out too of the oven because they're definitely close to being done here. And I want to check the bottoms of them too. Pretty good. Pretty good. Could be. It's good. These are done. So this one, this is mushroom cabbage sumac with the homemade cashew cream, almost like a creme fraiche. And we let it cool. Now, and in about an hour or so, we'll cut them. Let's see this one next. Next, we got going in the beet, olive oil, sesame, and then we're gonna glaze it with a little balsamic vinegar. And we'll put in the carrot. And it's important with the carrot ones. I know it's gonna look messy, pardon me, but we gotta give them a little push down so they don't spring up off of the bread. Sometimes you gotta get your fingertips a little dirty. You know, gotta get the cream on your fingers to get the job done. That sounds fucking weird as hell. Now, last 5 of these guys, then they go on their own tray. Thanks for watching, y'all. I really appreciate it. Even if there's no one in here, you guys rock. Even if there's not a soul watching, I love you. Just such a good bake today, and I owe it all to going live, putting that pressure on myself to have people watching me so I work harder, faster, stronger, better. Keeping a good attitude while we work. We got it documented that we kept a good attitude while baking today, just in case the wifey asks. How was your day today? It was good, I have proof. Would you like to watch the 3-hour proof? Excuse me. Little crumb, get back in there. Our beautiful little witch hats. All done, 15 of them. Let's put them on a tray. And then we got about 15 more minutes or so. And then I can turn the fan on, get the flatbreads cooling, put these flatbreads away, go take a shower, you know, gotta make myself presentable to go to market. Don't want to put too much olive oil, because what happens if you put too much olive oil and you don't cover the whole pan? The olive oil burns right onto the pan. How do you know that, Eli? Because I've done it a lot. I've burnt so many pans. Alright. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful work. And before I forget, I have to put some everything bagel seasoning on. By the way, perfect today. Beautiful. Usually I don't even do these on Wednesday, but last Saturday I told this guy I was going to save him some, and then he came to market and I was already sold out of them because I'm an amateur. And I said I would for sure do them Wednesday. So even if he doesn't show up today, this is my punishment. Had to work harder. Had to work even harder today because I didn't work hard enough on Saturday to remember the guy's order. That is your punishment. Work. Work. Got a big mess over here you can't see. Probably gonna clean that up in a second. Just want to put some flatbreads away after I wash my little fingies. Alright, so let's tilt you. Oh, we can go this way now because we're all done here. We'll go right here. Actually, we'll go right. Move you. Sorry. Adjusting camera. Put it right here so you can see what's going on. Get 2 big containers, put the flatbreads away. These have cooled nicely now, still really fluffy. And one more bin for the flatbreads with zatar. Really appreciate you guys watching today. Again, especially now, if y'all have any questions about wood-fired sourdough bread or just making sourdough bread at home or anything in general about bread, or what we just made or whatever, I'm here to answer it. To the market, $5 each. Good with anything. Hummus, eggs, cheese. Doesn't matter. Put it on top and it's a meal. Rotate these guys here. I said I wanted to be done by, what did I say? 1 o'clock. I think we're gonna make it. All right. All right, well, oops. Since nobody's watching anyway, I think I'll cut it here. Got the mashed potato here. You got the mushroom cabbage sumac. We got the other 2 trays in the oven right now, and the last 2 are right here, waiting to be thrown in. All right, I'll see you later. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks for making me work even harder because I got your eyes on me. And I'll maybe see you next Wednesday or something. Appreciate it. Bye.